Hey fellas, Rusty coming at you, and today we're going to take a peek at a Parker knife. This is Eagle brand knives, and we'll talk more about that in a second. But this is from a James Parker Fain Edwards collaboration. So this was made here in America in Jacksonville, Alabama. Now it didn't look like this when I got it. It was pretty much new old stock. I will admit they do have a little bit of the blade etch wore off here. It's sharp. I gave her a nice, just ran her on a ceramic rod here. But I did some, what do you want to call it? Oh, some dye to this. So there is a spot at the end of the video on what this knife looked like before. I didn't shoot the video of me dyeing it. I've done enough dye videos. If you don't know how to do it, go ahead and find one. There's different ways to do it. But hey, let's get into the knife. So James Parker had several collaborations along the way. He's collaborated, well, he did 1978, he did some of my favorite knives, is a Parker Frost, and they had Schrade build their knives. So James had a lot of knives made. He was more my sense of a businessman, and as far as I know, not a craftsman. So he was on the smart side of things. And in fact, he eventually owned Case Knives somewhere in the early to mid 80s. So back to the knife. Very well built. It's actually, you know, butter smooth across here. I think the bone and everything's looking good. The action is a bit dry feeling it. I have oiled it. Not sure if we have a gap here. Again, it feels smooth across there. So I had to polish it. I had to work on just getting some of that stuff taken care of. So I want to compare this knife to two different knives. First, we're going to do a Case knife. And we're just going to do that because I noticed something about these knives, and that something is it seems to cant down. So when you take a peek at the blades, this Schrade seems to shoot, or excuse me, Schrade Case kind of shoots straight out. And that's what we're looking at. And the blade, as I had mentioned before, is stamped out of kind of a band metal. And here we can just see some, you can see the blade grinds in here. Not the Case doesn't do blade grinds, but it's a different finish. This would be a polish finish on the Case, and this is a satin type finish. So that's how we're looking there. The Parker knife is a lot, not a lot. It is, it's bigger. It fills your hand. It's, look at that. You got a whole spot for your thumb. I suppose Case has that. It just feels better on the Parker knife. So let's see how we're doing. So Parker and Edwards, I want to say, partnered together in 1979 and ended in about, no, it was 1982, I want to say, to 84. It was a short-lived span. From 79 to 83 was this Eagle brand knives. And I think Eagle brand has a good reputation for making knives. When Parker and Edwards broke their partnership, that basically became the beginning of Bear and Son. So I see a lot of similarities between these two. You guys see similar nail nicks, blade design, blade plunge grinds, and so on. I'm not just talking because they're both green. This one we got a little stepping, so, and then over here, and that kind of shoots straight out again. So, oh, I am having trouble, but I got short nails accessing that nail nick, just so you guys know. One thing here, we got bigger bolsters, and we have that, if you can see how it rounds, which appears to be different than the others. I don't know if I mentioned, I might mention at the end here, this is a double dose of neon green on top of the already existing green bone. And that's how we got to where we did. This is what I wanted to show, is how straight that is, just straight out. Okay, and this, okay, actually pretty close to the same. Now this is going to be what they call high carbon stainless steel, and I will admit, case just kind of wins on the fit and finish. They aren't exceptional, but they're consistent. I think, and people like that. But these are good. This is really, I want to say I paid. You'll pay, gosh, anywhere from $30 to $100 for something like this. I ended up getting one in Damascus, so look for that video. And I ended up getting, oh, I should mention, a James Parker partnered over in Japan with a guy named Amai. And so you'll see Parker Amai knives. He was a Japanese custom knife maker, so he made knives for Parker. They have a Parker Brothers, they have a Parker Cutco company. Like I said, they just did a lot of knives. Later on, by the way, and I better just shut up about this, but James Parker, helped Smoky Mountain Knife Works launch as a knife store. And they made old smoky knives. And I have one of those. So be sure to keep your eyes out for that. But we'll be done for now. If you're interested in seeing what color this was before, hang around and I'll show you. Thanks, guys. Hey fellas, Rusty coming at you. Today we're going to be taking a peek at a dye job I'm going to do on this Parker, I think it's a Parker Edwards trapper. So hopefully you can see right there. I think it's a very well built trapper. You can just see from the bone though, the jigging's all right, but the dye either didn't take or faded. I don't know. All right, we're gonna do probably a double neon green. I like the way that looks. All right, guys, hang on, and we will see our finished product.